Okay, guys, I am going to talk to y'all about reporting. This is a leadership training. Something that you should be doing as a leader is running reports, specifically after the 15th of the month. Really, you should be doing it all month, but if you're not and you're taking the first part of the month to focus on your business, fine, but you should be running reports after the 15th for your teammates. With reports, there are a few that I run personally every single day. I am going to share my screen with y'all just so y'all can take notes, or you can take a screenshot of the ones that I run. Some of the other leaders, some of the other directors may have others that they recommend. But this is just how I do it. And how I do it is going to be a little bit different for a lot of you because of team and group. So if you're a new leader, your team and your group are going to be pretty much two different things. And I'm going to show y'all that in the workstation. If you do not have a frontline director, so if you yourself don't have someone in your frontline who is a director, your team and your group are going to be the same thing. When you promote a frontline director, your team is your people without that director's downline. Okay. So they're going to be two different things. Your group as a whole is everyone in your downline. So for instance, for me, I think we have 9 directors now in Simply Grace and Grit group. So obviously my team is going to be the people who pretty much don't have a director between me and them, is probably the easiest way to put it. So if I have a frontline or a downline that promotes to director, they take their team away from their director. Okay. So until you have a frontline director, your team and your group are going to be the same thing, but there are 2 different reports in your workstation that you're going to want to run. And I actually, before I had a frontline director, I was technically running the group report instead of the team report. And so that was a transition I had to have once I had a director, because I was running, not, I guess it's the wrong report, but I wanted to, you always want to focus on your team. And I was running my group. So once I had a frontline director, I needed to readjust. So I was just running it for my team. So with reports, what are they for? Why do we use them? Obviously, we want to be able to watch our teammates. We want to see where they are with a promotion. We want to see where they are in their own business. We want to see who our top PRV people are. When you have a small team, it's not hard to keep up with, because it's literally, well, either way, it's just literally a few clicks of a button. But when you have more people in your team, it's going to be harder to keep up with them. Simply Grace and Grit group is now a group of 400 people. There's no way that I could keep up with that without the workstation. Sometimes people will ask, well, where do you put your information? So what's your system for keeping up with your team? Y'all know I like to keep things simple. Everything is in the workstation. There is no reason to export that in somewhere else to keep up with it. The workstation keeps up with everyone's numbers. It's super simple. As an entrepreneur, those are things that you have to keep up with, but thankfully we have a great company that makes that easy for us. Okay. So we're keeping up with PRV, we're keeping up with TWV, we're keeping up with people who are close to a promotion. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with my dashboard. I am not going to run reports for you, but this is more so you can see what reports I have saved. So you can, like I said, either screenshot, instead of me listing them off, you can screenshot them or write them down from my screen. So when you're looking at, you go into reporting. Sorry, this is just habit of mine, so I kind of forget to go step by step. Reporting and then view my performance. That's how I go into all my reports. I don't usually use the other functions because this is just what I'm used to. Here, you're going to see that on the left side, your leadership report is your team report. So like I said, when you're having, when you don't have a frontline director, they're going to be the same, but a leadership report is a team report and a downline report is a group report. So get in the habit of running these leadership reports right now. Because that's what you're going to look for with PRV. I never click that start leadership report now, but now because I have made and saved a report right here, you'll see by PRV. So when I go into reports, I don't do the start leadership report and then have to double click to see who's in the top PRV. I made a report to do it by PRV. So I just click that and it automatically brings up and it puts my whole team in order of who has the highest to lowest PRV. Okay. With your workstation, sensational start, that comes automatically. That is everyone in your team who is in their sensational start period. So as a leader who has someone in their first 70 days, you should be watching that. You should already have their date in your calendar of when their 70th day is. I personally don't shout that person out until their 70th day. I don't shout them out for every level they get. Just because I keep things simple and I'm doing what I can do for one that I can do for 100. So I have their date in my calendar for when their 70th day is, and that's when I shout them out. Now, before that date, I will go in and check to see where they are, because as a new consultant, they may not know that they're 200 PRV from level 3. Okay. So running that report weekly is still super important, that you're checking to see, okay, well, how close are these people to the next level, to make sure that they're aware. They're still new. They're still learning. They may not know. They should know, because if they did their checklist, they should be up to date on what they should have. But I still want to be able to let my people know, hey, you're super close to level 3 or you're super close to level 1. And you have a week left to do it. Essential to Certified, that is also a preset report that Cincy gives us. Again, that is everyone on your team who is not certified yet. So every time commissions run, that resets and it shows you who is not certified, pretty much. I personally usually do a shout out towards the end of the month. I meant to do it yesterday. I will do it today. Of who is over halfway to certified. There's going to be people who just joined this month that are over halfway to certified. And then there's going to be, no, sir. Then there's going to be people in that have been around for probably 6 months that are just not certified yet. But regardless, they're halfway to a promotion. So we're going to shout them out and let them know. Same thing for Shooting Star. That is a preset report that you should be running if you're a leader weekly, to see where your people are close to earning that award. Promotions. Now this one is, I have a love-hate relationship with it. That is a preset as well from Cincy. And with that, it updates when commissions run. So I personally, there's no other way that I'm aware of that you can run a report to see exactly who promoted, other than to compare the columns, which is fine to do, but that is man-made, that's manual, and sometimes people get missed. Promotions is something that I highly recommend that every single leader runs when we get paid, because that's going to tell you who promoted from the previous month. It's going to have their date. I think that is one actually that I can bring up because it doesn't have numbers. Yeah. So here you will see for my team that last month, these people promoted to whatever column they're in. And that way people don't get missed. So put that on your calendar every 10th of the month to run the promotions report. Now, if you have a team of 1 or 3 or 5, you may say, oh, I don't need to run that. Yes, you do. Get in the habit now to run those reports. So when you have a team of 40, you're already in that habit of running that report every month. Okay. Start these now. If you have a team of 1, start these now. Get into the habit of doing it. Want to be a director? Act like a director. This is what directors do. Okay. So the promotions, I love it, but I wish it would be real time. I wish it would update every day because I don't like waiting I don't usually miss anyone, but as our team gets larger, we have a team of like 150 something. It just makes me nervous because I don't want to miss anyone. And all these people are not my front line. I don't know these people, but this report is just a checkup. So run it on the 10th, make sure that no one got missed for being shouted out for promoting. It is a great report. I just wish it was real time. Okay, so from here down under leadership reports, you're going to see these are the ones that I have personally saved. Annual Mentor, that is a report that I set up to keep up with how many people I have sponsored. I earned Annual Mentor a few months ago, which was awesome. And this is something that I checked, and that's how I kept up with it. Again, it took me 10 minutes to set the report up. And then it was literally just a click of a button. So take the time to set the report up. We are starting over, not next month, but next month. And I will do a training on exactly how to set that up. And I can actually, maybe I'll go through it. I don't want to show anybody's numbers except one person that I got permission from. That's why I'm not clicking on these reports. I just wanted to walk you through what I do. Frontline, that is a report that, I don't think that's a preset. I think that's one I made. That it's just a way that I can look at just my frontline. Just the people I sponsored. So I can, because as I'm still focusing on my team, my front line comes before my team. Okay. They are people that I've personally sponsored. I am their person, and I'm not just I'm their star director, I'm their director, and I'm their sponsor. So that is a report that I look at to keep up with my people. I already told you about the buy PRV. That is something that I run every day, multiple times a day. That is where I see who is top BRV in our team. It's already set. I don't have to double click. I don't have to do any of that. Top team address is one that I set for the end of the month. So whoever is the top PRV for the month, I have it set where it already brings up their address, and I have things change so I can just export it to Excel, and then I can take that from Excel to Avery.com, which is a totally different training. And then I have my active. With a click of a button, I can see who on our team is active. That is the easy way to, at the end of the month, see what percentage our team is active, because I can click it and go all the way to all the way down and see the number of how many people it is. So again, these are all, anything under leadership is team. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about group. This is not going to relate to everyone, but well, actually it is, because like I said, I want y'all to start doing this now. If you don't have these set up, if you're new, you probably don't. But you see all these potential reports right here. These are reports that, again, I set up through a training that Justin Cox did for us. These are gold. These are reports that I run every day after the 15th, and it's going to automatically bring up who I should be watching for a promotion. They have parameters set that they're dummy proof, to be completely honest, and they will pull up every single person who is not necessarily on watch, but they have the potential to promote to that title. So I have a potential directors or kick the queue, which means they're coming out of the queue. I have a potential star director. So I'll click on that one because I did get Katrina's permission to share this. And this also has parameters set on it. And I knew she was the only one in this one, so I'm good to share this. So when you run a report, or when you set the parameters, I'm not going to go through how to do that because that is a training that I've shared on leadership. I will bump that up so you can do it. Justin literally goes step by step on how to set those parameters for each title. He didn't do a lead one, but I did that one. And I think I would have to go back, and I don't want to click on that since I'm recording. So to set that up, I think in his training, he actually does it under leadership report, but I went ahead and did it under downline report because I want to see everyone in my group who is potentially going to sponsor. That's going to bring up my team people too. So I don't miss anyone or no one gets missed. So if someone's about to promote to director, but their director's not tracking it, at least I can see it on my end. So here, when you go through, you're going to be able to additional filter options. That's where you're going to be able to see the parameters. So for a potential star director, they need to have a GWV of 20,000. PRV, I put at 250 just in case that I didn't want to put 500 because some people don't have their PRV to promote, but that's something that I can work with them and say, hey, if you had your PRV, you'd be, you'd be there. So that is the parameters for that one. And that's all I'm going to bring up for that. But I have every title, lead, star, superstar, all the potential reports. I also have another by PRV. That way I can see who is our top PRV for the whole group with a click of a button. My leaders report, that is a report of everyone who is lead and above. The only catch with that is it doesn't update until the following month. So I don't use that report as much as I would because again, there's not a report where I can say, actually there may be. I'd have to set it by rank and I don't think that's how I set it. So I have to look at that one. By TWV, that is one that I run every single day. That shows me who in our group has the top TWV. It shows me who is our largest producers in our group, their teams, how they're leading their teams. The 500 Club, again, that is something that I send out every month. 500 by the 5th, or active by the 5th is down here. But I also do a 500 for the leaders group on the 5th. That's where I get that report. Again, click of a button. You can see I added this potential leads later than I did these because I was like, oh, we might as well just throw that in there. Another one that I have saved for the group is the top TWV address. So again, everyone who's in the top TWV, it is a click of a button. It brings up these visible columns is how I set that one up. I'm not going to click on it, like I said, but you can change this where you take things away and then you add in like their shipping address. I'm not going to put hers on there because we'll do the country. And that is I have that set so it brings up their name and their address. So again, I can run that report with a click of a button, export it to Excel, and everything I need is there to then put onto Avery. And then an active for the whole group. So that way I can see again at the end of the month what percentage of our group is active. Again, it's a click of a button. It brings up the number of everyone who is 200 above in the whole group. The other thing with reports is, and I've said this already, but take the time to set these up. Okay, all the potential reports, I will share that training that Justin did, but get in the habit now of doing that. So when you become a director, and we're actually going to talk about this next month with our SD leaders call, do the things that directors are doing. Even if you're a lead consultant with 1 or 2 teamies, getting in the habit of doing that is going to pay off in the end. The other thing in reports or in reporting is the commission's history. That is where you can go, and I'll put the income disclosure on this. And you can see where these breakdowns. So you can see that $935 of my paycheck came from my PRV. Okay, if you have not gone through this, you will see that my frontline bonus is more than my director bonus that I get, which is super interesting. That's because I have a large frontline. So I get paid more off my frontline than I do my directors. It is what it is. And then you can see your frontline by person. So you can say, and I won't pull that up because I don't want to put people's numbers on here, but you can say like, this is the person who is my like running person. Like they're the ones that I should be working really closely with if they are providing a chunk of my paycheck, to be completely honest with you. And that breaks it down by person. So make sure you go through and check that out too, because you need to know, and it may be surprising. I think it was last month, one of my frontline who's not a director, I got more off their TWV than I did almost all my directors. That's huge, right? I need to be working with them on what they're doing. Does anybody have any questions about the reports? The biggest thing is to run them, to save them, so they're easy to run, so you don't dread it. I've heard directors say, I don't have time to run reports. False. There's no reason that you shouldn't have time to run a report if you take the time to set them up. It is literally a click of a button, and I don't know what else to say to that. I'm sorry. Running reports seems like a big deal, and it's going to take time to set up your reports, but a lot of them are already actually preset in there. I just have some in there because for less clicking to make it easier for me. Do less better, right? I mean, that's what Chloe always says, and that's what all of us directors are really focusing on, is to make our lives easier. There's no reason that you as a upline, as a sponsor, as a director, as a SD or a SSD shouldn't be tracking who's promoting. If you know that someone is close to a promotion, you should be checking that. If you know that someone is less than 1,000 GWV to director, you should be checking that, because that's part of you sponsoring someone, is checking on them and shouting them out when they hit promotions. It's a big freaking deal. Okay. My rule of thumb with that is, if your sponsor doesn't shout you out within 24 hours of you promoting, I'm going to do it. Okay. Because I'm not going to let someone else go without recognition because you're too lazy to click a button. Sorry, that's ugly, but it's just the truth. Yes, it literally does take 2 seconds. And like I said at the beginning, it's literally just a habit of mine to go through and click. And I just do it so fast because I've done it so much. It's literally second nature to go in there and check people's numbers. So if y'all don't have any questions, I'm going to stop the